Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is, I believe it's Sunday the 11th, and I'm just gonna show a breakdown of my rack to you. Sorry, my voice a little bit raspy. My family's got a cold, and it got passed on to me, so I'm really not feeling good today, but I definitely want to make this video for y'all. So let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the rack system. So this is a 20-gallon tank. I bought the sump kit off of Amazon, and usually it takes the filter socks right here, but I just filled it in with polyfill just because it cleans the system a lot better. So there's like this compartment right here is polyfill, that's all polyfill, and then I just got lava rock in these two centers, or these two sections right here, and then I got the heater down in here with the sensor right there. That way it heats the whole system. But as you can tell, we got a little Mighty Jet right here. It comes up, pumps water up the side right here. We have a one-way valve. That way if power goes out, water won't go back into the sump and flood the sump. And as it comes up, it goes into each tank up here, which is the 4 10-gallon tanks. And so, like for an example, I have newborn fry in this tank, and so I can control the flow of the water going in just by turning that valve right there. That way the guppy babies won't get sucked into that and go down below to the next tank and stuff like that. So each tank has its own adjustment valve, and as it comes down, we have pond tubing coming from the top tanks going into each of the bottom tanks, as you can tell, going across there. And all we have is just a, I believe, a 1/2-inch bulkhead with the PVC with the drainage on top, which is, you can see right there. And as it goes into the bottom tanks, and then each tank has its own sponge filter. That way, for an example, if I need to isolate a fish, I can disconnect it from the system and just throw a heater in that tank. And to get water to this one, I would just add a split going into that tank. Sounds like a little bit of extra work, but it's actually not that hard. But I am currently switching every tank over to the Fluval Biostratum because I do want to have a variety of plants going through these tanks. So for right now, I just have miscellaneous plants. And then once you come back down to the sump, the returns from these 4 right here actually go into one piece of PVC and go in right there. Usually both of these have water coming out, but since I got fry and stuff in the system, the water's a little bit slower, so it comes in right just on that one. But now let's go ahead and talk about each 10-gallon tank. So, sorry, let me catch my breath, man. My throat is really killing me. We just redid this one. I forget the name of this plant, but I'll put it right there. We took some Anubis Nana Petite off of a bigger dragon rock and put it on a piece of driftwood. And the dragon rock back there with Anubis Petite, that plant, we've had that one for about a year. That actually came out of my mom's betta tank, and we put it in here so it can continue to grow. I forget the name, but this is some type of octopus plant. I took clippings from it. That was in the 225, which is, you guys aren't supposed to see that yet because, or no, by the time you guys see this video, I've already talked about the Anubis plants that I put in there, so we're good. But anyhow, I forget the name of the back plant. These are some type of Repens, I believe. I'm still new to these plants, so I don't remember. And we just got miscellaneous guppies. And one thing you'll notice throughout this whole system is a bunch of snails, because I feed my puffer, so unlimited food source. In here, I just threw a bunch of hornwort in here just because of the guppy fry. That way they got places to hide, even though the parent fish aren't in here, but at least they'll still feel safe. I got to take these plants out and move them so they can get the lighting. And one thing I forgot is I have 2 Fluval plant LED Spectrum lights on here. Well, Fluval 3.0 LED lights on here. We got one there, and then one right there. So I apologize for not talking about that. But anyhow, just miscellaneous stuff in here. And then this one, this big old mama about to pop. And this is like the mother lode of all the snails. This was the main tank where the snails all started at before I started taking them out and spreading them out. Once again, it's got a bunch of hornwort, and I forget what type of other plant in here. That way when she has babies, they can go somewhere and hide. And then coming down to this bottom tank, we have more fry that are a little bit older, guppy fry that are a little bit older. I'm hoping that this moss will grow back, but I'm not sure. But just more hornwort and stuff like that so the fry could hide in it. In here, just waiting to switch out the gravel for the biostratum. Obviously I can't do it in this one yet because I don't want to suck out the fry and stuff while I'm changing out the gravel. But in here, once I feel better, we're gonna go ahead and redo this one. I just put her in here. She's the one that had the babies up here. I isolated her because I do not want her to get repregnant again. And so she's in here by herself. This one, so I don't know how these fry got into that tank at one point, but these are the albino koi fry, I believe. I still don't know yet, but they're starting to get a little bit orangish, reddish, so I'm thinking it's those. But I just redid this one. I'm still working on this tank. And then over here, got a bunch of more plants. I don't know the names of them. I know that's a boost plant. I gotta fix that one. And then we got a pair of guppies right there. But yeah, that's basically the rack system. I mean, it's plain and simple. And as far as water changes go, all I do is just drain one tank, refill it, and that's it. Or I'll do a 50% water change on each one, then put the hose right there and just turn on the pump and then have it refill up there. But oh yeah, and I apologize. So we have a Fluval air pump that is connected with 2 air tubings. There we go. 2 air tubings going into a piece of PVC, and each one has an air valve hooked up. That way we can control the flow going into each tank. Then that way, like for the fry right now, that's fine, because even though it looks pretty strong, it's actually not, because of all the hornwort. So as you can tell, it's not really moving the water too much. But that is pretty much, in a nutshell, the rack system. It's all hooked up to one thing of filtration. And like I said, if I wanted to isolate a tank for, you know, say a sick fish or something like that, all I got to do is just turn off the water going to it. Or for an example, yeah, just turn off the water going to it, slap the heater in it, and we're good to go. So water goes in, goes up the side, right here, comes out the top. And then we have bulkheads on the back of these where pond tubing is connected to, goes into these tanks. And then these tanks are connected down to this PVC right here, and it goes into the overflow right there. Well, the sump. And that is pretty much the breakdown of my tanks. But as you can tell, we still got 1, 2, 3 tanks to switch out the substrate. And then once all the guppies are sold, the fry are grown up and sold, we're actually gonna start getting new fish into the system. I wanna start getting Danios. And yeah, I still gotta look into what fish, but that's pretty much all that I got. So once again, I do apologize if that just seemed like a very quick, brief breakdown of the system. Like I said, I'm not really feeling good or anything, but I did get feedback that y'all wanted a video. Well, some wanted a video of the breakdown of the rack system on, you know, how it's ran and stuff like that. So I apologize if it seemed quick, but once it's all complete and we got new fish in, well, as we get new fish, I'll keep updating this rack system and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go get my butt in bed and lay down and get some rest, man. I'm not feeling it right now, y'all. I'm not. But anyhow, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. That way you'll get the notification for the updates for this rack system and other videos that I post. All right, y'all. Have a great one.